All right. So what I want you to do is okay. So these functions we have already covered in your last class, in the first class rather. So we have covered the time value of money. We have covered the amortization table. Cash flow I have explained. So I would want today to actually do the cash flow worksheet in practice. Bond we are going to cover today again. This remains. Stat we are going to work today. We are going to work on regression. Date worksheet we have covered. And then we are going to work through the percent change as well as interest rate conversion. The good part is that except for the cash flow worksheet and perhaps the bond worksheet, all of them, the rest of the templates are pretty easy. In fact, the cash flow worksheets are pretty easy as well. All right. So let's navigate through the cash flow worksheet. So can all of you confirm that you have the cash flow worksheet in front of you, wherein these variables are appearing as we had discussed last time? You have the CF0, and as I told you that the cash flow can take function from 1 to 32. The frequency you might want to check that it is either 1 to 32 or it is 1 to 99. Doesn't matter. We can't really check physically on the calculator. As we move along and as we input the data, the calculator will show us. Anybody who is not familiarized with the concept of NPV, NFV, and IRR, I think I had explained the other day as well. So for just the rehashing purposes, revising purposes, NPV stands for the net present value. So when we talk about net present value, this actually talks about the investment, initial investment that is being made, vis-a-vis this is for part no Arun, this is a Calci training that is going on. You might have missed the calculator training part 1. This is the calculator training part 2. We have not yet gone into the FRM curriculum.
Okay.
For you. Okay.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please continue.
Yeah. So since you might have missed, so what I am saying is that you could see the calculator if you have it at your disclosure. Else you stay with the presentation. It is going to help you nonetheless. The thing is that when we actually work through the various problems of FRM or CFA, candidates either do not have full knowledge of the calculator, or they do not know the shortcuts that could be actually deployed in the exam that would save those precious minutes. So on my channel, the part 1 of the calculator training is uploaded at your leisure. I must insist that you should watch that. It would give you a fantastic idea of how to use the calculator. In fact, everybody, whoever is going to sit for your next CFA or FRM exam, the calculator training is something which I had actually thought of long time back, because most of the coaching institutes, most of the mentors, tutors, providers, they do teach the curriculum, they do teach the content, but they do not actually quite teach the calculator. There's a gem out there, there's a treasure to be found. Okay, so that's what it is. It is not FRM part 1 training per se. All right, so let's move with the concept of net present value once again. So if we have, let's say, we are talking about a 5-year period where t is equal to 0 here, and this is t is equal to 5. So from this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this period, in this period, here you make the investment. So when you make the investment, that means that is denoted as a negative cash flow. Your calculator understands this as a negative cash flow. Now, I did take the example of the last class wherein I said whether 10 million investment is being done at a time t is equal to 0, and then there are certain cash flows that are being generated over the year. So you could have, let's say, a cash flow of the first year that could be, let's say, 150,000 US dollar. Second year it is 250,000. Third year maybe it is 300K, so on and so forth. Different things are there. And then we have the we have the discount rate associated with it. So we use that discount rate. Let's say the discount rate is 10%. So we use that discount rate to discount each of these cash flow to the present value. Present value would mean discounting them back to time t is equal to 0. All of these cash flows we equal to 0, we discount them. And once we have discounted them, we simply add them. When we add them, then we have got the all the present value of all the future cash flows. Now, in order to find out the net present value, the way we do it is that we simply take all the summation of the present value of the future cash flow and we deduct the initial investment that we had made. Okay, so the balance figure comes out to be something called as NPV. Now, why this is important is because most of the times, if you're undertaking a capital project, your board of directors or your company may or may not approve the capital project for a variety of reasons. One of the important reasons is to understand whether the NPV is positive or not. But natural, if the NPV is not positive, it does not make sense to invest into a project today, which can have a negative future cash flow. So which means that NPV has to be positive for any project to be undertaken. That's the bottom line. So similarly, I also told you about the concept of NFV. NFV happens to be what is called as a net future value. So net future value is nothing but the same concept of what we are talking about as a discounting. If we project them in future, what we mean by project them, say it's like this. You're infusing $10 million today as part of your capital outlay, and then you're generating these cash flows. So the other way of looking at the same thing is that what if there is an opportunity cost? So the opportunity cost is being determined by the discount rate once again. So instead of discounting, this time what we do is that we compound them. So for example, the first period wherein we have $10 million of negative investment, we would compound them for 20 period, or let's say 5 period here. So we will compound them for 5 period. The second cash flow, the first cash flow that is generated here, this is the initial cash flow, this is the first year cash flow. So this first year cash flow that is being generated here, that will be projected for 4 period. Similarly, the second period cash flow will be projected for 3 period, 3 period cash flow, third period cash flow will be projected for 2 period, fourth period cash flow will be projected for 1 period, and fifth period cash flow, of course, there is no projection. So what do we achieve? Well, it is exactly the opposite of what we achieved here. In NPV, we achieve at time t is equal to 0. In NFV, we achieve at the time t is equal to horizon. In this case, the horizon has been depicted at 5 years. It could be 10 years, 15 years, doesn't matter. Okay. Now, idea basically still remains the same. Whether you do at time t is equal to 0, or you do at time t is equal to the horizon, which is in 5 years. Here also, we will do the same treatment. The future, now we will say not PV of CF, which means that is not present value of the cash flow. We will say FV of CFI, which means all the cash flows future projected up until the horizon. Okay. So FV of future cash flow, and then from here, we will again deduct the FV of initial investment. And then whatever the value that comes, that is called the NFV. And the same treatment is here as well. Whether you talk about NPV or you're talking about NFV, the idea is that if a project is to be undertaken, they must generate positive value. So until and unless the NPV or the NFV have positive figure, companies or organizations usually do not take up any project. The last concept out here is something called as IRR. IRR happens to be something what is called as the internal rate of return. So anybody who can actually explain to me what is meant by internal rate of return? Can somebody explain to me with your knowledge, whatever you have?
That rate of return at which NPV becomes 0.
Absolutely correct. So the internal rate of return happens to be that rate of return at which NPV becomes 0. That means it is a no profit, no loss zone. In other words, it is basically the break-even rate. Okay. So if you have a break-even rate NPV, so the way we denote this is that we will say the initial investment on the left-hand side of the equation is equal to all the summation of the present value basis of cash flow. Okay. So this is called, now the rate at which we were, idea understand, we're talking about the rate at which the internal rate of return is that rate of return at which the net present value becomes 0. Net present value becoming 0 means the initial investment will equal to the summation of all the future, summation of all the present value of the future cash flow. Now here, which rate we are talking about? Precisely, we are talking about this particular rate. Earlier, we denoted this as the discount rate. Here, we are talking about that particular rate, which means the discount rate itself, we need to find out. Now, if people familiar with the TVM sort of a problem, wherein we say that out of the 5 variables, if we input 4 variables, the computer or the calculator is going to throw me the 5th variable. So similar is the case with your cash flow function as well. In case of cash flow function, we input all the value, and then thereafter we navigate to the NPV function. In that NPV function, the calculator will throw the IRR value as well. So what does the IRR value denote? So IRR value denotes the particular rate which will equate these two figures. Now, why this becomes important? This becomes important again because every project, as I said, every project has some cost of capital associated with it, right? Now, a project would make sense if the net present value is positive. Yes, that is one way of looking at it. But at the same time, management, many a times, they also insist upon something called as a positive IRR. What is meant by positive IRR is that they would want the rate of return that the project would generate, that should be more than the IRR. But naturally, only and only if the rate of return that the project generates, if it is more than the internal rate of return, the NPV will become positive. It's a no-brainer completely, right? In other words, IRR helps us to enumerate whether a particular project is generating enough revenue to meet not only the cost of capital, but perhaps exceeding. Now, this is something which we talked about as far as the cash flow function is concerned. Now, what I want you to do, I will open up the Excel sheet nonetheless. But now what I want you to do is look at this cash flow. And, if you have your calculator right now in front of you, I want you to input these values. Can you do that? Can all of you do that?
Yep.
Okay. How do you input the value in your calculator?
You add a sum of the cash flows?
No, that's not how you do it. So the way, okay. So the way you do it, I think I did actually teach you the other day. Okay, so let me directly take you to the Excel sheet first. Meanwhile, just take a snapshot of this particular slide that is in front of you, because the questions we are going to talk about here, and this is a repetition of what we had learned the other day also. So I'm just rehashing it because sometimes it's good to actually go back a couple of steps back in order to come back better.
Apologies, I wasn't able to make that class.
All right. So is my screen visible here?
Yep.
All right. So this is an Excel sheet which is in front of you. So this Excel sheet, this actually embeds the same data that we were actually talking about. So this is the initial investment. So the initial investment would be somewhere around 10, 100, and then 1,000. That means it's a $1 million of investment that has happened. These are the same cash flows which were occurring in your calculator in the PPT slide. This is the discount rate that has been given. Now, in order to find out the NPV, so what I did is that in this case, I first and foremost utilize the function that is embedded in the Excel sheet itself, right? So in the Excel sheet, this function is already embedded. So what I did is that I found out the present value of these cash flows. So for example, for 5,000 first cash flow, that will be discounted at the rate of 10% for how many period? That is going to be period for 1 period. So how do I do it? So just follow the syntax here. The syntax will give you an idea. Okay, so it's a simple Excel sheet formula that we have used. Simply said is equal to H5 divided by 1.1, 1.1. Why? Because 1 plus 10%. So that is why it is 1.1 in the denominator. That to the power raise F5. F5 happens to be this particular time zone. So similarly, all the cash flows have been they have been discounted, and discounted where? They have been discounted to the present value. And after you have discounted, I simply add them up. If you add them up, it gives me 1379684. You don't have to do it yourself. This is first I'm going to establish this in our Excel sheet, and then we are going to do it in our cash flow function in order to glean out that there is accuracy in what we are doing. So after we have added all of this, we found out the value to be 1379,684. From this 1379,684, if we suitably deduct the 1 million which we had initially invested, the NPV comes out to be 379,684. Okay, so I want you to look at this. Similarly, if you look at the NFV happens to be the same thing, just on the opposite way. I think I discussed this in my last video lecture. Candidates who might have already missed that lecture, definitely you must go to YouTube channel of mine, and then thereafter you must see for yourself how I have done it. All right, so in this case, how we go about it is that we take up this 10%, this particular the cash flows that are there, and those cash flows we project them at a future value. For example, this is being projected for 20 period, but natural. Why it is being projected for 20 period? Because this happens to be the initial investment. So we project it for 20 period. At what rate? We are going to project it at a rate of 10% per annum. So I'm sure that you guys have already known that how to do it in your calculator as well. So that's how we did it. We found out the NFV for the initial investment. Similarly, all the cash flows have been suitably projected. As you can see that the last cash flow that is there, that will not have any NFV. The NFV of the last cash flow and the cash flow itself, they are going to be same number, because it is being only projected for 0th period. So at 0th period, if you project, it is going to give you the same number. Okay, so that is how we have done. And then we have added all of them. Since we add all of them, and thereafter we found out that that happens to be this value, 928,1825, and from here similarly we deduct the initial investment now compounded till 20th period, and we get we arrive at a figure of 25,54,325. All right, so now that we have known this, what I want you to do is to press obviously switch on your calculator and press second and press clear TVM and press clear word. What I want you to do is to first second clear TVM, and then again second clear work. Okay, after you have done this, then what I wanted to do is to press second again and press and come to CF. Press second and come to CF. Okay, so once you press CF on your calculator, the first notation that will come on your calculator display is going to be CF0. Can everybody confirm that you're getting CF0?
Yes.
Great. So if you're getting CF0, what I want you to do is to now input the data, this data, 1 million data. So how do I do it? I simply write 1 million and then press the plus minus button and then press enter. So once I do that, my Calci has already taken 1 million as an input data. Okay. Is everybody through inputting the data? Is everybody through inputting the data? The first data, CF0.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you just confirm? All right. So I assume that you have inputted this particular data, CF0, and then press the down key. If you press the down key, you're going to get the first C01. C01 is the first cash flow that is there. Input 50,000. Mind you, this 50,000 is positive. This 1 million is negative because it is cash outflow. This 50,000 is positive because it is cash inflow. and then press again enter and press the down key. So it will give you F01. Leave F01 as it is. The default value of F01 is going to be 1. Press the down key again and you will come to C02. Input 75,000. That is the second value. Okay. And then press enter and press a down key. Once you do that, then you will come to F02. F02 again happens to be 1. Leave it as it is. Do not tamper with this. Press the down key again. Once you press the down key, you will come to C03. In C03, I want you to input 35,000 as it is appearing here, the third cash flow. Press enter and press the down key. You'll come to F03. Again, F03 happens to be the frequency of this cash flow. Leave it as it is 1. So like this, I want you to input all the 20 data that's there. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please do it.
Hi. I just wanted to let you know my calculator keeps, so after I enter F01, it keeps going back to cash outflow, like 0. The whole thing keeps resetting.
Okay, so which calculator you're using? It's a Texas Instrument, right?
Yeah, Texas Instruments BA2 Plus.
Is it a BA2 Plus Professional or BA2 Plus only?
Standard, BA2 Plus.
Okay, okay, it should work absolutely fine. So what I want you to do is to press second and press the reset button. Press second.
Okay.
And press the plus minus button, which is the reset button.
Okay.
And it will come with a question mark.
Yeah.
Press enter.
Okay.
And press second and press quit.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I want you to do is, once you have done that, now I want you to press again second and cash flow.
Cash flow. Okay.
Okay. And now input the data of 1 million.
Yeah.
With a plus minus sign, of course.
Yeah.
And press enter and then repeat the process as we have discussed.
Ah, okay, I got it. Found my mistake. Sorry. I just kept pressing the equals to sign instead of enter. Apologies.
Yeah, so input all the 20 data. And once you're done, please inform that you've done it. Jitaditya, Ishtiaq, are we doing it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are we through inputting all the 20 values?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can somebody else also confirm? Arun?
Yes,
have
sir. Yes, sir.
Just give me 30 seconds and I'll be done.
All right, please do it. Take your time, take your time.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I just got to, I think, the 18th one. And then when I was entering, pressing the enter and then down button, it's showing me an error 4 symbol.
Shouldn't be the case. Everybody else, can you confirm 20 cash flows you should be able to input? Divya,
Yes, sir, it's done.
20 cash flows you're able to enter? All the
Yes,
20
sir.
cash flows?
Yes.
Ishtiaq?
Yes, sir, I did.
Jitaditya?
Yes, sir.
Which version of calculator you have, Jitaditya? 2A plus or 2A plus professional?
2A plus.
Ishtiaq?
2 plus professional, sir.
Okay. And Divya?
2 plus professional.
Okay. So Arun, it should work. It's not that it should not work. Don't panic.
Yeah.
It may be just that your calculator settings is not yet done. We face the same problem with Jitaditya as well. So calculator setting takes some time. Don't worry about it. Just be with the class. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no worries.
I will teach you how to reset your calculator once again. Just be with the class.
No worries.
It doesn't matter. Even if you've got 18 cash flows, that's absolutely fine. Maybe your answer will differ, but that's absolutely fine. The important thing is to understand what we do with it. All right. So now that we have taken all the cash flow, I want to press second and press quit. And then again, press second and come to NPV function. Can you do that for me? Press second and press quit. Once you press second and press quit, you have exited the cash flow worksheet. And then once again, when you press second and press NPV, you have now entered into the calculation worksheet. So the first symbol that you will be seeing is I. Can all of you confirm that you are seeing I as the first symbol in NPV?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When you press second and press NPV, the first signal that you will see is going to be I. So what I want you to do is to input 10 because 10 was our discount factor and press enter. Press 10 and press enter. Once you've done that, press the down key. Press the down key. Once you press the down key, what is appearing on your screen, on your display?
NPV is equal to 0.
NPV is equal to 0. Now I want you to press the CPT button. I want you to press the CPT button. Can you do that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Did you press the CPT button?
Yes, sir.
What is it showing?
It's showing NPV is equal to 375,551.
375,551. It should not be the case. It should show the figure of 379,684. Can somebody else also confirm?
Sorry, sir, can you just repeat what to do from the NPV? I figured out a way to make it work. I just went back and completed it. What do I do? So sorry to disturb. What do I do after I press second in NPV?
So once you press second and NPV, you will get the
I
and input I as 10 and
Yeah.
press enter.
Press enter. Okay.
And then press the down key. Once you press the down key, you will see NPV is equal to 0.
Now press CPT.
Now press CPT.
Yeah, it's not that. It's 323,028.
No, so there is
Compare.
Mine is also different, sir. Mine is also unique. 3,36,205.
It's pretty strange. Okay, who else is remaining? Aditya is remaining. Aditya?
The 36968.
369.
1000 is less. 68.
36968.
Yes.
68 something, right?
84 last. Everything is correct. Just 37 it should be. Not it can 369684.
Okay, Divya, how much you are getting?
375,551.
Ishtiaq?
Sir, 3,36,205.
Jitaditya?
Sir, is differ.
Okay, tell me.
135285. 8.
Oh my God. No.
Sir, I got it. It's the right answer for me. I made a mistake in the input, which I'm guessing. So for me in time flow 18, I put 35,000 instead of 350. I just went back and changed that. My NPV is 379,684.20.
This should be the NPV. In case you're getting a different answer, please check your cash flow worksheet. There may be some input errors out here. Okay. Yeah. So for all of you, Arun, you've got it. If you're getting it 379,684, because the same calculation is being done in the Excel sheet, and this is the detailed breakup, it cannot lie. Okay.
Yeah.
So the rest of the candidates who are getting different answer, I want you to go back to your cash flow worksheet and recheck all the inputs that you've made, either in terms of the cash flow itself or either inadvertently somewhere the F01 has not been left at 1. You might have just changed it to some other value. Okay, so just kindly recheck. After you have done that, come back to NPV and press 10%. It has to give this answer. It cannot escape. Okay, Arun, since you've got it, I want you to now press the down key once again.
Yeah.
And press, and you will see this thing occurring, NFV, net future value. Can you see that?
Give me a second. No, it's just I and NPV.
Okay, so the pro version, the plus version does not. Yeah, the plus version does not have a couple of features. One is that in the cash flow worksheet they do not have the NFV feature, and they do not have in the bond worksheet. They do not have the modified duration calculation feature. So these two features are missing as far as the plus version is concerned. The pro version has these two features. Nonetheless, it should not create much of an issue. In your actual exam, there is unlikely any NFV calculation will come. Exam will gravitate more or less towards whatever your calculator at the student version actually teaches. Up to that level only they will teach. They will actually give you. So don't have to worry. But in case if you can, for your future use in real life practice, if you can, then I would always suggest that go with the pro version, because pro version has these two features extra
if required. Okay.
So the rest of you, are you able to see whether you have made any mistake to in?
Yes, sir, I got it. The last entry was wrong.
NPV was wrong. So
Yeah,
Ishtiaq, is the value coming to be 379,684?
Yeah, exactly same, sir.
Exactly same. So now what I want you to do is to press the down key button, because I believe you have a pro version.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What is it showing on your screen?
NFV.
I want you to press the CPT button.
Yes, sir.
How much are you getting?
2554,325.
2554,325. Is it the same value?
Yeah, same value, sir.
Same value you're getting. Press the down key again.
Then PB is equal to 0.
Then press CPT.
Yes, sir. 8.822 or something like that.
Close to 9.
Yeah, close to 9. Definitely.
Press the down key again.
11.86. Close to 12. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is your payback period. This one is your payback period. This one is your discounted payback period. The thing what is meant by payback period is basically all these cash flows when you add together, which is that year at which it would exactly equal the initial investment that you made. Obviously, there cannot be the exact number. So we go by with the nearest figure. So if you see in the 9th year, all the cash flows, if we sum all the cash flows, just look at my screen. So I'm just highlighted. If you do this now, come to the bottom, the sum is coming to be 1040000. So which is very close to 1 million. Okay. So 9th year is the year when the entire payback happens. However, these paybacks are happening considering that they're all undiscounted cash flow. Since we are more interested in the discounted version of it, so what we do is that we add on the discounted cash flow. So when we add on the discounted cash flow, you will see the 12th year is the year on which the entire cash flow summed up in a present value manner equals or just exceeds 1 million. So this is what is meant by the discounted cash payback period and the payback period. People who are getting the cash flow or NPV value wrong, please recheck your input. You might have made some input error. It's quite logical. It can happen. But cash flow function is very important from your exam's perspective. Any question anybody has here that you did not understand? All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to do one more little exercise. Okay. It is not exactly going to match, but I want you to do one little exercise. And that is, I want you to do this math. 1.1 to the power 20 multiplied by this figure, 379,684. Kindly do this math and see what is the value that you're getting.
Yeah.
33,99,805.
We are getting NFP, sir. Whatever NFP value is there, no? 2554, 357. Okay.
Almost you will get this value.
Almost same.
Almost you will get this value only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Again, at the cost of repetition, I did this sum on the Excel sheet first, just to convince you the real work that happens, because the Excel sheet will not lie. Calculator input, sometimes we can make error. Okay. So this is our cash flow function, the way we do it. Now let's go back to the original presentation and see which are the other remaining things that's there. And I promise you the rest of the things are equally interesting. All right. Annuity, I think annuity we have already done last class itself. And date worksheet also we had done. Can somebody confirm? Jitaditya, can you confirm that we have done the date worksheet in the first class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so people who might have missed again the date worksheet, please go and see. It's very simple syntax. Still, I'll repeat for you. All that you have to do is to press second and press to 1. Press second and press 1. Second, 1. So if you open up, you will see that DT1 has opened up. DT1 has opened up. Can somebody confirm, for example, can Arun confirm what is the value that you're seeing in DT1? Arun, you're there?
Yes, I will have a look at the YouTube video so I can get a bit more clarity on what this is.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But do you have the if you do have the calculator?
Yes, I do.
If you do have the calculator, you can see the value. Once you press second one, you will see that DT1 has opened up. Again, if you press the down key, you will see DT2, and then again press the down key. If you press the down key, DBD, you will see. Okay, so exactly the way we have seen. So here before that, I have already done the adjustment of the date. The date can be in one of the two formats. Either it is in a US format or it is in a European format. The difference between the two is in case of European,
Okay.
yes, Aditya, that's correct. So you're getting it in month. You're going to get it in month. The default value is the US format, wherein it happens to be 12/31/1990. Okay. So I had actually told you that, change this date format. How to change this? This is again given in my first part of the video lecture. So I want you to change this format wherein it comes as DDMMYY. So that means this is 31st of December 1990. And I showed you how to do it. The input value that you have to give here is basically 31/12/90. That is by default, it has been given. Any date if you want to mention, you could mention as the ones who has European format. You can mention that, for example, today's date we have to mention. So today is 16th of September, 17th of September. The way we write is 09.1722 and press enter. The moment you press enter, you will see on your screen the value which is actually being coming out as 17092022. Can somebody confirm that this is the value that you're getting in your European date format?
Yes,
Can
sir.
somebody confirm that? Great. In US date format, all exactly the other alternative happens. Here it is month DDYY. So here, in case I have to put in, so I will put in European form, in US format, I will put in this format itself. That is 09.1722. The moment I do it, this is in US format. And in case of your European format, it is obviously going to be 170922. This is the only difference. So once you do that, and then you come to the next date, obviously, just to remember that date 2 cannot be prior to date 1. Obviously, that cannot happen. So date 2 has to be at least equal to date 1 or a date later than that. Okay. And the moment after that, you press the down key again, you will come something DVD. DVD means a date in between dates. Day in between dates. Day in between dates. Which dates? The dates which you have just inputted here. Okay. So moment you see, you give two values and you come to this particular syntax, I just want you to press the CPT button and it will give you the days in between dates. Okay. Of course, there is one important aspect is that the date count, whether it is actual or 360, that also you have to mention, because in both cases, there is going to be something different. We have already done this exercise in our last class. So now what I want you to do is I want you to enter into something important, and that is the bond sheet itself. Now, bond happens to be a very important aspect of your FRM exam. And let's see whether we can solve any particular problem in our Calc itself as far as bond is concerned. Okay, now here one word of caution, and that is in the student version, that is the plus version, you will not get this value. Okay, because this function is not present in the student version. The pro version has that. So let's see what is this being talked about. Anna Karenina is contemplating purchasing an NCD. NCD means non-convertible debenture, which is a type of bond that was issued by ABC Corporation on December 1, 2014. December 21, 2014, paying 12% semi-annual coupon and maturing on December 31, 2026. Today is September 18, 2022, exactly the day we are having the class. The bond is trading at 112% of its face value on a 30 to 360 degree format. Okay, since last coupon date. Anna intends to hold the bond till its maturity, and the yield curve is determined flat at 10% for the foreseeable period. So these details are being mentioned. Okay, based on the above data, would you advise Anna to invest into the bond? And the next part of the question is, what is the accrued interest and cash price of the bond? And the last portion of the problem is that can you also indicate the modified duration of the instrument? All right. So let's first, what do we do is that let's first map what is being talked about. Okay. So from here, we are talking about, let's say here. So the bond was issued here, that is on December 31, 2014. And the bond is retired or due to be retired, matured on December 31, 2026. So can somebody confirm the total number of years in between. How many number of years we are talking about? 12 years, right?
Is it not 7?
Yes, sir.
We're talking about 12 years,
Yes, sir.
right? So this is practically t is equal to 0, and then this is practically t is equal to 12. All right. So this is obviously going to be t is equal to 6, whatever that 6 is, and so on and so forth. So this is where the bond was issued. Now, today is 18th of September 2022. So if you consider today, so that means we are perhaps just 4 years, some months here. So this is the day that we are here, right? This is September 18, 2022, right? So the investor purchases the bond here, or it is contemplating to purchase the bond here with the details that are now being shared with us. Which are those details? The details are that it is paying a 12% semi-annual coupon. That's the first thing that is being talked about, 12% semi-annual coupon. Okay, so that means at each of the 6 months, how much of a coupon that will be paid? 6, right? The bond is trading at 112% of its face value. That means the present value of the theoretical price of the bond happens to be 112. The date format has been given as 30 to 360. Obviously, what I want you to do is to go to the date format and see to it that whether the date format is changed or not. If it is remaining at actual, I want you to change it to 360. So 30, 360. The way to do it is to go to format, second format. Okay, so let's go to second, and let's go to bond. That is 9. Second 9. And once you go to second 9 and keep on pressing, just keep on pressing. Okay. After you press second 9, what is the first thing that you're seeing? The first thing that you will be seeing is something called as SDT. Am I right? Can everybody confirm?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I want you to press the down key. Just follow the syntax which is appearing here. Second 9, press and come to SDT, press the down key. You'll see CPN, press the down key again. You'll see RDT, press the down key again. You'll see RV, press the down key again. You'll see either ACT or 360. Now, which one which you're seeing right now? Is it ACT or is it 360?
ACT, sir.
So what I want you to do is to press second and press enter.
Yeah. It has
Okay.
become 360. Yeah.
Yeah, now press the down key once again. Now, once you press the down key, the compounding frequency is being mentioned either as 1 by Y or 2 by Y. What is being mentioned?
2 by Y.
Sorry?
2 by Y.
Is it 2 by Y or 1 by Y?
2 by Y.
So the ones who are having 2 by Y, just leave it as that. The ones who are having 1 by Y, press second and press enter. And then once you press down key, again, you will see YLD. Press the down key again, you will see PRI. Press the down key. And maybe it will throw some error value. Is it throwing some error value?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Error 6.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So now what I want you to do is to, now you have set your calculator. Let's again revisit the problem. So the problem says, this is the day the bond was actually issued in the market with the intention of being retired after 12 years. This is the day the bond is in vogue and the investor is contemplating to purchase this bond with the details which are being given. The coupon period per period has been given at 6. The present value of the bond that is trading at 112, that has been given. Then what is being given is the date format is obviously actual. We have already, 30 by 360 format that's been given. Okay. And the I by Y, which is basically your discount rate, that is 5 now, because it is 10% per annum. Since it's semi-annual, it is 5% per period. All right. Obviously, the face value happens to be 100. Okay. So now from here, there is one more aspect. If I have to find the value of this bond, how can I find out the value of this bond? Can you guys tell me? Anybody? We have done this already in the class. In previous classes, we have done it already. Tell me how to do it. So one way of doing is let's now understand the problem which is being given. What is the first part of the problem saying? Ishtiaq, what is the first part of the problem?
Position. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the first part of the problem?
Sir, yeah, bond is being sold at premium, sir. Okay, that is.
Yeah, bond is being sold premium. What is the first part of the problem? Based on the above data, would you advise Anna to invest in this bond?
Yes.
Right?
Sir.
That is being
Yes.
sold. So let us solve this problem through the date format itself.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what I want you to do is to press second and press 9. Press second and press 9. Okay. Just the same worksheet, we will now input the data. So in the press second, press 9. First date happens to be the day of today because he's contemplating today. So if you have a European format, you will put this. If you have a US format, then you will put this. Okay, either will do. So for example, I have right now in my calculator as US formats, I will write 09.1822. If you have a European format in your calculator, you will write 18.0922 and press enter. Can you do that? The meaning of SDT is settlement date. Settlement date means the day that you purchase the bond or you decide to purchase the bond. Have you done that? All of you, please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Press the down key and you will see CPN. You'll see CPN. Can you see?
Yes.
So in this CPN, what I want you to do is to press 5 and enter. Sorry, press 6, not 5. Press 6 and enter. And then press the down key again. Once you press the down key, then you will come to something called as RDT. RDT means the redemption date. By default, the redemption date will be the maturity date, the day it matures by default. So, which is the maturity date? 31st of December 2026. Now, according to your date format, input the value. I have a European format in US format, so I'm going to write 12.3126. The ones who have European format, you will write 31.1226. Each of this, press enter. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Press the down key just as it is happening. Just press the down key and you will see RV. You'll see RV. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So RV, the default value will be 100. Is it 100?
Yes, sir.
Leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. Press the down key. Press the down key. What is appearing?
SCT.
Second enter. Put second enter.
$360.
Correct. Press the down key now.
2/Y.
Yes, that means compounding, two compounding periods in a year are there. Exactly
Yeah.
the same format.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it is 2 by Y, leave it at that. Then press the down key.
YLD.
In YLD, I want you to input 5 and enter. Put 5 and enter.
Yes,
Press the
sir.
down key.
PRI.
Now press CPT.
Yes.
How much you're getting?
103.80.
Ishtiaq?
Yes, sir, same value.
Same value.
Yeah.
Divya?
Sir,
Divya?
I'm getting 116.62.
No, again, same problem. You must have actually goofed up some calculator setting somewhere. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So what I want you to do is to recheck whether you have inputted the data correctly or not. So cancel all, second clear, second work, second clear TVM, second clear work. Do it and then press the second and bond key again and check for yourself if you've made any error in inputting the dates in the values. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Recheck that. Okay. So what I want you to do is now you found out the value of the bond. Principal happens to be 103.8. Press the down key again.
Yes, sir. AI.
Press CPT.
Yes, sir.
How much you're getting?
Now I need to press down key again.
Oh, you're not getting. Okay, in your pro version, okay, AI is not available in the student version, I believe. Is there? Can
Sir,
you confirm?
AI available. AI available.
1.3, sir.
1.3 you're getting. All right. So if you're getting AI, then press CPT.
Sir, AI 1.3. Then I press
Correct.
CPT.
Yes, and press the down key again.
It is showing SDT.
So in your case, it will show SDT because in your case, what has happened is that the duration part is not there.
Yes, sir.
Ishtiaq?
Yeah, duration is given, sir. 3.75646.
3.75646. Okay, press the down key again and you come back to SDT. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what did we learn from here? What did we learn from here? The thing that we learned is that in your actual exam, we could find out the value of a bond by using TVM method, right? We can find out the bond value by making use of the TVM method. But a better way of finding out the bond value along with its accrued interest and cash price and everything else is actually to make use of the bond worksheet itself. If you make use of the bond worksheet, not only your calculation will be faster, but you will be saving time and you will be exactly arriving the same value without making much of a calculation error. Okay. So you just have to make use. People do not know, many people do not know this fantastic feature of the calculator wherein you can actually calculate the value of the bond without doing much of a hassle. Just input the dates correctly. And sometimes in your actual exam, the dates may not be given. Well, but they will say that, okay, the remaining life of the bond happens to be 3.7 years. So you could do it. You could complete this at your end as well. Just imagine that what is going to be 3 years and what is going to be 0.7 years. But just to remember, 0.7 years does not mean 7 months. This is the only thing that you need to understand. 0.7 means how many months?
7.
No, 0.7.
12.
0.7 means 0.7 into 12. 8.5 months, close to. Okay. So you just need to remember that when it says that the remaining life of the bond happens to be 3.7 years without they're giving you the date in the actual exam, you can always create a date at your end. That's all I'm saying. You can always create the date at your end, and your bond function will immediately return all of its values absolutely within few seconds. You saw that how fast we did the calculation. We could have done the same calculation using the TVM worksheet as well, and it would have also returned the same value. The only thing in case of TVM worksheet, what change would have been required? Ishtiaq, what change would have been required?
Sir, we have to change the applicable interest rate. And
Only
yeah.
n will have to be changed here, because n is not going to be a whole number here, right? N is not going to be a whole number here, because n means what? Remaining number of periods, right? N means remaining number of periods. So how many periods are there? Between here and here, there is going to be 4 periods. 4 years are there, right? 4 years. 4 years, since we are compounding frequencies 2, that means it is going to be 8 number of periods. Plus, there is going to be the date between September 18 and December 31st. Why December 31st? Because it pays a semi-annual coupon. That means one coupon it will be paying in December 31st, and second coupon it will be paying in June 30th. That's how it will be paying 2 coupons in a month, 2 coupons in a year. So we just have to then calculate these number of days. So the date, you know how to calculate. September 18 to December 31st. How many number of days are there? Can somebody tell me in an actual format? Can somebody confirm? How do we do it? Press second, press 1, right? Press second, press 1. What do you get? You get DT1. So in DT1, input the value, right? Depending upon your Calc format, input the value. Press down key, you will come to DT2. Input the value. Mine is a US format, so I'm using US format. Okay. And press the down key, you come to DVD. Once you press the DVD, press CPT button. How much value you are getting?
103.
104.
103.
Okay. Everybody else is also getting 103. Can all of you confirm you're getting 103? Ishtiaq? Jitaditya?
04 I'm
No,
getting,
sir.
sir. I'm getting 104, sir.
I'm also getting 104. Divya, you might have to reset your calculators. Okay. You might have to reset your calculator. The value should be 104. Now, all that we have to do in this case is that convert this 104 into the semi-annual period. So how do we do it? We simply say 104 divided by 180, because it is 2 period. 6 months is 180, right? 180 days. So how much is this?
Uh, 0.57.
0.57. So all that we do here is that the n value, which normally we input as whole number, we will now going to put 8 plus 0.577. Okay. So that is n is going to be 8.57. So after we have inputted this details, n is equal to 8.57, PB is equal to 112, PMT 6, date format 3360. Okay, we don't have to do anything in TVM. I by y is equal to 5, F is equal to 100, and then we press PV. Sorry, we have to find out PV, not because PV is, see, the question out here is to compare whether we should invest in this bond or not. So in order to ascertain whether we should invest into the bond, what the bond price has to be, we have to find out the fair value of the bond. So what we have to do in case of TVM, we have to input this detail. In case of TVM, we have to input this detail. 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 And from there, we have to find out the PV.
Yes,
If
sir.
we get the PV less than 112, if we're getting the PV less than 112, okay, that means the bond is trading at a super premium than its fair value. That means we should not invest in this bond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we are getting a value which is more than 112, just I'm saying, if the theoretical value is more than the market price of the value, that means the bond is selling cheap as compared to its fair or intrinsic value. That means you must invest in this bond. Okay, so in either of this case, if you find out, you will see that the PV happens to be 103.75 or 103.8. As you will get one of these two values only. Okay, just to ensure that what we solved through the bond worksheet and what we solved through the TVM, they are going to yield the same result only. Okay, so the first part of our problem is done. Should we advise Anna to invest in this bond? The answer is no, we should not. Why we should not? Because the fair price of the bond happens to be 103.75 and the bond is currently trading at 112%. So my bond worksheet tells me not to invest in this bond. Okay, what is the AI and the cash price of the bond? Ishtiaq, what is the AI and cash price? What is the accrued interest and cash price?
Yeah, is 1.3.
Yes, sir. 1.3. AI was 1.3, sir.
AI is 1.3. So what is the cash price? What is the cash price?
Interest 1.3. So cash price-
103.8 plus 1.3.
Yeah.
How much is that? 105.1. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the second part of the problem. And what is the modified duration you got? What is the modified duration you got?
Sir, I have just cleared the data, sir, because I was.
No problem. No problem. We got the modified duration as 3.75, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir,
modified
yes, sir.
duration 3.75. So see, all these questions could be answered only through bond worksheet itself. A detailed problem I solved through so that you guys understand how to make use of your calculator in your worksheet. Okay. Now comes the most important, which you are going to definitely be requiring in your exam. And I want you to pay special attention because this is the most important part of your entire calculator training. That is the stat and the regression values. Okay. So for this, first and foremost, you will have to follow the syntax which is there. So what is the syntax? That is 2nd and 7. You will have to press 2nd and 7. Okay. And once you press 2nd and 7, that is for variable. Okay. And you'll see values like x01 is coming.
Yes, sir.
Press the down key and you will see y01 is coming.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you press the down key again, you'll see that the calculator does not move and it reverts to x01.
Yes, sir. It happened.
Okay. Press the cancel button and press 2nd and 8. Press 2nd and 8.
Sir, where is cancel button?
Beside 0, left side of 0, cancel button is there. CEC.
Yes,
Yeah.
clear one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
press 2nd and press 8.
Lean.
Okay. So here is something that we need to understand. So once we actually come to 2nd and 7, you'll see the first function is actually LIN. Can you see that?
Yes.
Press the down key and you will see some N is there. And N
Yes.
is equal to 0 is there. Okay. So what I want you to do is to press. Don't press the down key again. Press the up key and come back to lin. Okay.
Yes.
And now keep on pressing 2nd enter. If you press the first time 2nd enter, you will see the next value that is coming is ln. Am I correct?
Yes.
Press 2nd enter. The next value that is going to come is exponential.
Yes.
2nd enter. The next value that comes is PWR.
Yes.
2nd enter. The next value that comes is 1V.
Yes.
Yes. Now leave it at 1V. By default, leave it at 1V. Divya, leave it at 1V. Is it clear?
Okay.
Divya?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, 1V. Now, what is the meaning of 1V? 1V means one variable. 1V means one variable. Okay?
Yes,
1V means one variable. Now, here I want you to understand one thing very, very clearly. When we have to only, for example, in your exam, in your QT section, you know, things like this can come. They will give you, let's say, 10 figures, -3, +4, 5, -6, +12, 13, 7, -4. Like this, they will give you. Okay. So these are 10 values that are there. After giving this 10 value, some problem might simply ask you that please calculate the mean. Please calculate the standard deviation. Please calculate the standard deviation considering that they are sample and not population. Okay. So what do? One is that you actually input. One is actually you physically do it. That means, you know, you add each of this number and then you find out the mean. And then you do the standard deviation xi minus x bar square, keep on doing it, and then summation of it, and then whole of it divided by n for population. And for sample, it is going to be divided by n minus 1, right? That is what you are going to do. Once you get that, you simply square root of that, and that will give you the standard deviation. That's what you're going to do. Am I right?
yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes.
Now, your calculator provides a very beautiful shortcut, error-free, wherein you will not be making mistake. All that you have to do is to ensure that you input the data correctly, and the rest of the job, the Calc is going to do for you. Also, even if a direct question does not come like this, you might be required to actually do this calculation as part of some question also. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So here, if you're working with this one variable, you have to first do the calculator adjustment wherein you press second and press start and ensure that your calculator format is in 1V format. Okay. But suppose I tell you that these are the X values, and corresponding to these X values, suppose there are corresponding 10 Y values are there as well. Okay. Starting with 1, 6, 7, -13, 18, 19, 21, like this, it goes on. Okay. And they might ask you that Y is basically a dependent variable of X. Y is actually a dependent variable. In regression term, what we call regression term, we call explained variable, right? That's what you call Y. You call this explained variable, right? So how do we express in a linear regression? How do we express Y? We express Y is equal to some default intercept A0 plus the slope coefficient and multiplied by X plus some error value. The expected of this error value happens to be how much? What is the expected value of this error value?
0, sir.
0. Okay. So this is what your best fit line or a regression equation looks like. Do remember one thing, that if such raw values are being given, wherein two variables are there, and there you'll have to find out a regression equation. In case of regression equation, what do we have to find out? Basically, you have to find out these two values, the default intercept as well as the slope coefficient. Only these two values are required. In that case, you will have to change back your stat worksheet. So you will have to press second and press 8, and then keep on pressing second, enter. The moment you press second enter, it will default to second. It will default to come back to lean now. Why it will come back to lean? Yes, Arun. Sure, it will be. Sure, it will be. No problem. Take care. I know that you're not keeping well. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Sorry, I'll be sure to prep.
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Don't take too much of attention. You're attending the class from hospital. That itself is a great thing to, that shows your enthusiasm, and it's okay. I don't want your first class to be completely burdensome. It's absolutely fine. Take care. It will be uploaded. Don't worry.
Have a lovely day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Sure. All right. So now what happens here is that against all of these values that are there, in case of our regression equation, basically we are interested to find out these two things, right? One is our default intercept, another is basically the slope coefficient. Now your Calci provides the facility to do that. Otherwise, what you will have to do? You'll have to individually calculate what? Beta. So individually calculated beta would mean what? You'll have to calculate the covariance of x, y, and then divide it by sigma x and sigma y, and further divide it once. Sorry, you'll have to divide it by sigma square x in order to find out the slope coefficient beta, right? Now Calci provides all of that trick without you actually doing the math yourself. So how do we do it? I just showed you. In case you have to work with single variable, always ensure your stat worksheet is set at 1V. In case you have to work with a regression equation, you must ensure your stat worksheet is defaulted to LIN, L-I-N, linear regression. Okay, this is the only check that you have to do. So by default, always leave it at 1V, because regression equation may come, may come less number of times. So just by default, leave it at 1V, or you could leave it at LIN also, doesn't matter. But you have to remember where your Calci is. Once you have left, then second quit. So you've come out of the stat worksheet. Now what I want you to do is to understand what is being written here. How do we do it? We can calculate mean, we can calculate sample standard deviation, population standard, sum of the data, sum of the square data, etc. Okay. Regression, this is what we have said. This is what we can do. All right. Now what I want you to do is to come back to a worksheet. So come back to an Excel worksheet. I'm going to share that, and that is going to help you understand. Is my sheet visible?
Yes, sir.
Istiak, can you confirm? Divya, can you confirm?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
All right. So here what I have done is that there are two sets of 10 values each I have taken. Okay. X values and Y values. X values and Y values I have taken. Okay. So for the example, let's now first concentrate on the single value, single variable. So in single variable, these values are there. What is going to be the mean of X? So it is very easy. We just have to make an average here, right? So if we make an average, it is going to give me a data of 4.9. For the time being, ignore the Y values. Standard deviation of X, considering that this is a population data, happens to be 5.99, right? And if you consider X, this data, this X value, first set of data to be sample data, so the mean still remains 4.9, mean does not change. The standard deviation changes, right? The standard deviation changes from 5.99 to 6.3, right? From 5.99 to 6.3. All right. So this values, now we will see whether the calculator returns the same value or not. So what I want you to do is to press second and press a data. That is, press second and press 7. Once you come that, you're going to get X01. In X01, I want you to input this data. 1, 2, 4, this data as it is there. So just input, press enter and press the down key. Frequency column, leave it as it is. Do not tamper with frequency and input this first 10 data. Please do the job. Is it done? Divya, Ishtiaq, Jitaditya?
No, sir.
It should not take so much time. Divya?
It's done, sir.
Done. Great. Ishtiaq, I hope it is done at your end as well.
Yes, sir.
Now go to second and go press 8. That is, go to second and go to 8. That is, you have opened the stat worksheet now. After you inputted all the values from 1 to 10 of X, second 8, you'll see 1V, which you had first set. Press the down key.
Sir, n equal 10.
N is equal to 10. That means number of data set is 10. Press the down key again.
X
Yes,
equal
sir.
4.9.
Mean is equal to,
4.9.
4.9.
press the down key again.
A standard deviation of X 6.31.
Considering it
6.31.
sample. Considering it is a sample, it is showing the standard deviation of X value from the sample set to be 6.3. Press the down key again.
Yes, sir.
Sigma equal 5.99.
Standard deviation of the set, considering that it is an entire population.
Yes, sir.
Press the down key.
Population mean not sample. Yeah.
Summation X
Yeah.
4.9.
So thereafter it is basically summation square, etc., which is there, right? So don't worry about it. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
here, what did we understand from this worksheet? That if you have given those data points are given with a single variable, if you are being with a single variable, what else can be asked? Only two things can be asked. That is the mean and standard deviation, considering both, whether it is a population or sample, right? Other
Yes,
than
sir.
that, nothing else can be asked. So instead of you doing it physically, your Calci does the job.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now comes the most important and beautiful part of it, which many people do not understand and do not make use of. Now, what I want you to do, I'm not going to repeat. I want you to change this data format. That means go to second and press stat key and change the format from 1V to lean. Second, 8, change from one variable to linear regression variable. And second, quit after that, of course.
Sir, how to do it?
Now, I don't know how to
1V.
do it. How to, Jitaditya, don't ask me how to do it. How do it? What do you mean by how to do it? Second enter. If you press second enter, you will get from
Yes,
one
sir. Yes, sir.
immediately default to LIN.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then press second and press quit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I want you to do is to press second and come to 7. Press second and 7. What is the value that is appearing? X01?
1.
X01 is 1.
Yes.
Press the down key.
Y01 equal 1.
So in case of Y0, I want you to put this value 5. Press the down key again. What is X02 is showing?
2.
2.
And then I press it once again. It will show Y2, the frequency, input 6, enter, and complete this table. Have we inputted all the data?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So now I want you to press second and press quit and come to the stat worksheet once again. Okay. Before that, just do remember, as we found out the value of X, so obviously the mean value of Y, that is the average value of Y, and the standard deviation of Y, considering its population and considering its sample, both can be found out, right? It is a no-brainer for us now. But we are not interested in that alone. What we are interested in is actually to find out a few more things. So come to the stat worksheet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now your stat worksheet is set to a linear regression motion, as we have stated it earlier. What I want you to do is just keep on pressing the down key. Press the first down key. Press the first down key.
Yes, sir.
What is showing?
N equal 10.
Press the down key again.
X equal 4.9.
Ishtiaq,
Yes, sir.
is it showing the same thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Press the down key again.
Yeah. Standard deviation equals 6.31.
Press down key. Keep on pressing and tell me the value. Keep on doing it.
Yeah. Sigma X equal 5.99.
Yeah.
Y equal 3.
Y equal
3.
3. Okay, next.
XY equal 2.21.
XY equal 2.2.
SY, yeah, 2.21. Yeah,
Yes,
2
sir.
point, yeah, 2.
Next. Do it fast. Do
Sigma
it
Y
fast.
2.09.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sigma Y 2.09.
Yes. Down key, press down key and keep on telling me data. We don't have time. Yes.
A equal 3.94.
A
B
equals
equal 3.94.
A equals 3.94.
94. Yeah.
Okay. And
B equal minus 0.19.
Yeah.
okay. And
R equal minus 0.54.
okay. And
X equal 0.
that is X proposed value. That is X dash you are getting perhaps.
Yeah. Y
Ishtiaq,
dash equal 0.
Ishtiaq, somebody who has a pro version, can you see after the R, what else you are getting?
Yes, sir. I can tell you, sir. After R, I'm getting X dash, sir. X dash is equal to 0.
Yes. And why after that?
Y dash is equal to 0.
After that?
After the summation of X is equal to 49. Then summation of X square is equal to 599.
599.
Yes.
The summation of Y is equal to
Summation of Y
30.
equal 30.
Summation
Yes.
of Y square is equal to 134.
Y
Yes.
square 134.
The summation of X into Y is equal to 78.
78.
78 with a minus sign or just
No,
78?
just
Okay.
78.
78.
Yes. All right.
Then LIN linear.
Lean.
Okay. So that's the, okay. So now understand what's happened. This
Yes,
A
sir.
value which you got is basically your default intercept in your regression equation, right?
Yes.
Y is equal to A plus BX. We say, right? Y is equal to A plus BX, where B is the slope coefficient, X is the explanatory variable, Y is the explained variable, A happens to be the default intercept. Plus, obviously, the error term we assume to be 0 in case of a regression equation.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's see what has happened. If you look at my Excel sheet and look at the syntax which you have made, so this syntax again, as said before, that this syntax cannot lie, right? So we found out the average mean value of X happened to be 4.9, mean value of Y happens to be 3, standard deviation of X, considering its population, all these values are matching. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And the correlation happens to be minus 0.549, which you also got minus 5.549. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I want you to do is to look at this, because this is Excel sheet working. It cannot lie. So what I want you to do is to first and foremost, now this pack you may have in your Excel or you may not have, but let me just go to this data and go to data analysis. Okay. So once I go to data analysis, I'll come to something called as regression. So when I say regression, I say okay. Okay. And then I have to give the data input. So I say Y value first. I'll have to give. I choose this Y value. And then I'll have to give the X value. I choose this X value, right? And then I have to give some confidence interval. Obviously, that is required from your Qt class. I would presume that you guys know that. I'm leaving it at default confidence interval of 95%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Putting it there. All right.
Yes, yes, sir.
And then I'm saying, okay. So when I say okay, what has happened is that the Excel sheet has simply given me something called as the ANOVA table, which you guys have done in your Qt class. Okay. In this ANOVA table, what are the values that we are getting? We are getting multiple R. In case of single variable, multiple R is equal to the correlation factor itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And the R square, what does R square tell us? What does Jitaditya, what R square tells us?
R square.
Variable.
Divya Bihani, what does R square tells us in, what does R square tell us? Exam is there just around the corner. You guys should be knowing this. Okay, these are basics of Qt. R square tells us the percentage of the explained variable defined by the explanatory variable. Basically, it talks about the percentage success of the regression equation itself. Obviously, all other things remaining constant, the higher the R square, better is the fit of the line. Okay. So here R square has been shown to be 0.3. That means 30% success is there. Obviously, after putting in some penalty, we get 21% 21% explanation power or 21% success ratio. Anyway, the idea is that here what we did is that from Excel, we found out the entire worksheet, right? Entire what is going to be the regression. In case of a simple linear regression, which are the important things that are important for us? That is basically the default intercept, right? Because this is A0 value and this is the slope coefficient. Is this the same thing that we found out in our Calci as well? Jitaditya?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is this the same thing? So whatever your Calci does, whatever the Excel sheet is showing here, exactly the same thing is being thrown by the Excel sheet itself. Okay. And in here, what I have done is I have simply plotted this. When you plot this, how do we do it? We select all this data. And after we have selected all this data, right, we simply go to chart. We simply go to chart, right? You guys know how to do it, I believe. Oops. My cursor has vanished. I do not know why. All right. So this was our bond worksheet. This was our, this was our, yes, stat worksheet. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this actually now, what I want you to do is to make use of this stat function, make use of this regression function, okay? And see for yourself how the results are being thrown. Again, the important aspect is the more you practice, the better it will become and better you will get comfortable using calculator in your exam rather than doing things manually. So the Calci actually provides a lot of function, a lot of fun function, a lot of magic function, which hitherto were unknown to all of you, you could see that in a great deal of work can be done. From stat worksheet to regression finding, simple linear regression can be done through this stat worksheet. Of course, multiple regression cannot be entered through this because the Calci only takes up only 2 variables at a time. All right, so with this, we come to the last portion of our presentation, and that is the icon function. So icon function, I have already explained to you in our class as well. Basically, wherein, you know, 2 functions are there. From these 2 functions, we can make use of one interest rate regime change to another interest rate regime change. Do you guys recall this, that we have done this? Can somebody confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So here we are just going to take one particular example and understand that how to do it. For example, how to do it in your calculator. That is important. So let's take this first example itself. What is the effective interest rate for 10% bank deposited compound 10% bank deposit compounded quarterly, right? So what is being said? So here we are time t is equal to 0, and here is equal to time t is equal to 1, and in between there are 4 quarters, like this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3, and last but not the least is Q4. So we are saying that discrete compounding quarterly basis. So that means compounding happens in this fashion. So we have already seen in our class how to do it. So we just going to repeat this. So we press, how do we do it? We press second, and then what we do is press icon. That is 2, second 2. Just the syntax which you follow. The syntax which has been given is second 2. Okay. Obviously, it comes with one warning that do not use this function if you are having continuous compounding. In continuous compounding, it should not be used. In case of discrete compounding only, this function should be used. So once you press second and 2, what happens? You will see that you're getting NOM. Press the down key, you will see you're getting EF, and press the down key again, you will see C by Y. If you press the down key again, you will come back to NOM. So always remember, the EF is basically the annualized effective rate. NOM is basically the rate which has just been given, and C by Y is basically the compounding frequency. So in this case, how do we solve this math? So again, if you have to solve this math in this fashion, obviously, you're going to eat up more than 2 minutes. Right? So the funny way of doing it, rather the shortcut way of doing it, is that when you press second and press 2, you come to icon function. The first is norm. So press 10 and press enter. In norm, press 10 and press enter, and press the down key. Once you press the down key, you will come to EF. Leave it as that. Press the down key again, and you will come to C by Y. In C by Y, put 4 and press enter. C by Y, put 4 and press enter. After you put 4 and enter, press the down key again, you'll come back to NOM, and now press the down key again, you'll come to EF. EF value is still showing 0. I want you to now put CPT. How much value are you getting?
10.38.
10.38 is the answer. So what does this mean? It means that if you put in a bank, the bank which promises a 10% rate of interest quarterly compounded, that is going to yield you exactly the same result as if you put in a bank that yields you an annual rate. That means there is no quarterly compounding, but annual rate of 10.38%. They are going to give you the same amount. So you can solve it here as well. Just put Y1 is equal to 10, and this is equal to 4. And here, obviously, Y2 you do not know, but Z value obviously is going to be 1 because we want to find out the effective interest rate. So the point which is being made out here is that instead of doing this manually, you're using your calculator to do the job for you. Okay. Similarly, one more problem which is being there, that 2 fixed income securities are being talked about. One bearing a quarterly payment of 10%, another bearing a half-yearly payment of 10.5%. Which one do you choose? So how to do it? Can anybody tell me how to do it? Divya, how do I do it?
We will calculate the effective rate of interest for both the.
Absolutely correct. So in this case, what we will do is that we will find out the effective annualized interest rate for both of them. The one which is being quarterly compounded and the another which is being semi-annually compounded. And then we will see that which one is giving me higher rate of return, effective annualized, right? And then I will be able to choose the security. So this is how we make use of the icon function. So it is very easy. Only these three syntax are there. All that you have to remember is to put the values correctly and the calculator will do the rest of the job. All right. So from here, how do we do continuous compounding? In case of continuous compounding, how do we do? Let's do this. What is the equivalent 6% effective rate if compounded on a continuous basis? How do we do this job? So these ones are very easy. All that we do is write 0.06 plus 1, that means 1.06, and to this 1.06 simply put ln.
Yes, sir.
And the value happens to be 5.826. What does this mean? Visually,
Sir, 0.058.
yeah, 0.058 means 5.826. No? It
Yeah.
means 5.826.
Yeah.
So internally, let us understand how do we do it. So what we are saying is that 6% effective rate. So 6% effective rate would mean that discretely compounded from here t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 1. And here we are talking about continuous compounding. So continuous compounding, how many periods are there? There are infinite number of periods. So it means that continuously compounded at the rate of 5.826% will yield the same result as if discretely compounded for 6% annually. Okay. Similarly, the next sum which is there, if the continuously compounded 7% rate is there, what is the effective discrete rate? So in this case, how do we do it? How do we do it in this case? We say 0.07, then we say second, and then we say ln. That's it. Our job is done. Okay.
1.07.
1.0725. Okay. So
Yeah.
from here, whatever value you get, you deduct 1 from here and you get 7.25%. So what does this mean? Exactly the opposite of this, the first one. The second say, so here what did we do? From effective annualized interest rate, we found out the continuous interest rate. And here what is saying? From continuous interest rate, we found out the effective annualized interest rate. So just the opposite. Okay. So these are the 2-3 functions of interest rate compounding. Last portion of this presentation happens to be interest rate problem used for our markup problems, etc. Okay, so this is again very interesting. For example, press second, the syntax which is there, press second and come to 5. What do you see?
Old.
Press the down key.
New.
Press the down key.
%ch.
Press the down key.
Hash PD.
Yes. Okay. So this is very easy again. How do I make use of it? Well, I do not know. Sometimes very silly questions can come or some calculations required within 5 seconds to be done. So let's just take this example. If a pen is selling at a markup of 8%, cost is 100. So what should be the selling price? From this problem, we can immediately say it is 108, right?
Yes, sir.
So in our calculator, how do we do it? Second 5, in place of old, write 100, press enter, press the down key, new, ignore it, press the down key again. You'll see % change, put 8 and say enter. Press the down key again. You'll see PD is equal to 1. Leave it at that. Press the down key again. Come back to OLD. Press the down key again. Now you come to NEW. Press CPT and it will give you 108. Okay. Now the reason I'm saying is this because sometimes I have to do some fuzzy calculation. Instead of that, I can make use of the calculator again. Now let's see the second problem. If a discount of 20% is being provided to an electronic item, the list price of which is 764, what should be the new price? Now in this case, what do we do?
Minus 20.
Absolutely correct. So the way we do it is we come to second 5 in place of 100. Now we write 764.
Yes, sir.
And press enter. Press the down key, which is new. Put 0 or leave it as it is. Don't tamper with it. Come to down key again and you will see percentage change. In percentage change, I want you to provide 20%. You write 20 and with a minus sign, 20 plus minus. Okay. And press the down key again. Leave the PD as it is, press the down key again, press the down key again. You will come back to new and say
611.2.
611.2. Okay. Let's take the second last sum. So this person has invested $14,500 6 years back. Today, the value of this, what is the CAGR? So how do we calculate the CAGR? You will simply say 31,600 divided by 14,500, all of this to the power 1/6 minus 1, right? That's how you will do it. Again, better way of doing it is you could do it in your Calc itself. How do we do it? Any idea? We press second,
Yes,
press icon, first clear, press second, press 5, press second, press clear work. So you have now freed your Calc completely of your previous data. In OLD, now you put 14,500. 14,500. Okay. And press enter. Press the down key. This is OLD. You'll come new. In new, put 31,600. 31,600. Press enter. Press the down key. The percentage change happens to be 0. Leave it as that. Don't do anything. Press the down key. Now in this PD, I want you to write 6 and press enter. And press the down key. And press the down key 3 times till you come to percentage change. While you come to percentage change, now you press the CPT.
13.86.
13.86. Okay. Now you see it has become so easy. The CAGR happens to be 13.86. Okay. So this completes our entire calculator tutorial, more than what is required in your FRM exam. It was a detailed discussion of how to make use of it, calculator. And as before, more you practice, more familiar you will get in your exam. I don't want you to remember all the functions. It is not required either, but do remember as you practice, they will become you will become very familiar. It's very easy to navigate. Make use of the calculator as much as possible to save time rather than doing job manually, which may actually take much of time.